Good morning, students. Shendye madam here, one of your physics teachers. I welcome you all on very first day of your college life, and I look forward with the hope, the positive response from your side. We all are here to continue with subject physics. The subject matter of physics includes mechanics, sound, heat, light, modern physics, electricity, electromagnetism, magnetism, etc. I would like to begin with light. Optics is a branch of science of light. So today we'll begin with chapter 9, optics of the textbook. Before starting the meet, before starting the lecture, open the notebooks and mention lecture details. I hope everyone is ready with the notebook. Open the notebooks. Let us mention lecture details in the notebook to begin with. So, first mention today's date. What is today's date? 11 10 21. Let us mention serial lecture number of the day. Lecture number 3. Conducted for subject physics by Shendye madam. Shortly we call MVS, by MVS madam. So this is the opening of the day, of the first day, and we are here on serial third lecture of the day. So I already have told you I would like to begin with chapter 9, optics, page number 159 from the textbook. So we'll continue with the subject physics and we'll start chapter number 9, optics. Mention all these details in your notebook. Whatever you study, whatever you do daily from the morning, you have to mention it in the notebook. So let us begin with subject matter of physics. Most of the students are not ready with the notebooks. So remember, everyone has to have the notebook as well as the textbook if you have brought. आज नोटबुक बहुत देर दिन के पास नहीं रहेंगे, कल से नोटबुक लेके आप लोगों को लेक्चर में बैठना है. कुछ ना कुछ राइटिंग हम लोग देंगे ही. सो यू बी रेडी विथ नोटबुक, and if have brought textbook, keep textbooks along with while attending the lectures. So, all know optics is the branch of physics in which we study about light, means the nature of light, the propagation of light, different phenomena executed by light during its propagation through propagating media and so on. So, optics is all about the science of light. So, to begin with, we first consider few characteristics of light, properties of light. So, write down first point, properties of light. today we will discuss in general the properties of light before actual starting the syllabus. So light shows different properties, and on the basis of properties we can explain different phenomenon executed by it during the propagation. Let us study the properties one by one. What is very first property of light? Light is the form of energy. Write down number one, form of energy. When it is created by the source, it does not get confined at one particular definite point. Instead, it starts spreading out. It starts moving away from the source of light. This is its second property. So, the form of light energy doesn't get confined at the source, but once generated by the source, starts spreading in all possible directions away from its source. So, this is its second property. So, its direction of propagation, motion, we represent in the form of ray of light. So, pictorially, the light is represented with a straight line with headed arrow. It is its pictorial symbol. The arrow pointing in its direction of propagation. So, light is represented with a line and headed arrow. So, ray of light is line with headed arrow, and sometimes we talk about beam of light. So, beam of light is the collection of number of rays of light. I hope the picture might not be the clear one. Still, you try to understand. It can propagate only through few particular media. The media through which light can pass are called optical media or transparent media. The notes I will post on the WhatsApp group. If you can derive your own while during the lecture, you can try, you can write on your own. I will not dictate, you have to derive it. And the important notes I will post on the WhatsApp group. Isn't it? Is this clear? So, light through which or the media through which light can propagate are called optical media or transparent media. So, what is next property of light? Light cannot pass through all media. It can only permitted through optical or transparent media. The other group of media through which light cannot pass are called opaque media, non-transparent media. So this is also one more property. Light can pass only through optical media. It is resisted by opaque media. So one more question can be asked. Give illustrations of optical media. Give illustrations of opaque media, or you will be provided with certain media. Differentiate them in three groups: optical media, and other is opaque media. List दी जाएगी डिफरेंट मीडिया के नाम्स की, और उसमें से हम लोग आपको पूछ सकते हैं कि आउट ऑफ these which are optical one and which are opaque one. So you have to remember all these points. So in different optical media through which light can pass, its velocity is different. लाइट है उसकी वेलोसिटी और लाइट ऑफ गिवन पर्टिकुलर वेवलेंथ, बिकॉज क्या है, व्हेन लाइट इज propagated in the form of ray, that ray possesses certain properties. It has its velocity, it has its wavelength, and all these properties, it has its frequency. Depending on the frequency of light, we get one particular color for the given ray of light. So when light propagates in the optical medium, that light has particular quantities by default assigned with it. It has particular frequency, particular wavelength, and particular velocity. So what we will do, we will consider a light of a given frequency. ऐसे एक लाइट लेते हैं जिसका कलर रेड दिखाई देता है. You choose one particular frequency and pass the same ray in different optical media like air, like helium gas, like water. Water is also transparent. Light can pass through water, can transmit through water. So different media है, लेकिन of same frequency we are passing a ray of light only through different media. It is observed when it passes a particular light of particular frequency passes through different media, its velocity changes. The velocity of light is maximum out of all transparent media when passes through air, free space, or vacuum, and its value is 3 into 10 raised to 8 meter per second. In comparison with air, when it passes through any other optical media other than air, the velocity is always less than 3 into 10 raised to 8 मीटर पर सेकंड. उसकी वेलोसिटी एयर में मैक्सिमम है. Of all known optical media, it moves fastest in air with velocity 3 into 10 raised to 8 meter per second. The second thing, we have to keep its frequency unchanged. Even the media changes for a given ray of light, it does not change its frequency. उसकी फ्रीक्वेंसी कहीं चेंज नहीं होती है. यानी कि एयर में पास होते समय उसका कलर रेड दिखाई दिया. If it enters in water, its color will not change. It will look red as it is. So frequency never changes when light pass changes the media of propagation. This is one more property. Here wavelength gets affected and hence velocity changes. Wavelength affect हो जाती है इसलिए उसकी velocity change हो जाती है. We will assume the spreading of color is one more another phenomenon. Just now we are talking about only the characteristics of light. We are not talking about any of the phenomena. When light is propagating in one medium, कौन सा भी एक ले लियो. सपोज एयर में एक सोर्स मैंने सिचुएट किया है और वो सोर्स मैंने ऑन बनाया. If that medium is not bounded, if it is open, and we will assume that medium through which light is propagating is homogeneous. In other words, we call it as isotropic. Isotropic ऐसे भी बोल सकते हैं. If the medium of propagation of light is homogeneous or isotropic, once it starts propagating in such medium, covers infinite distance in the given direction. देखो मैं एक डायग्राम निकालती हूं, अगर पॉसिबल है तो आप लोग ध्यान दीजिए. दिस इज वन मीडियम, अनबाउंड, दोनों बाजू ओपन है. इफ आई कीप अ सोर्स ऑफ लाइट ओवर हियर and we consider one particular ray propagating in a given direction. If the medium is homogeneous and is not bounded, this ray continues to travel up to infinite distance in the same direction. उसकी डायरेक्शन भी चेंज नहीं होगी एंड डायरेक्ट उसकी line of action, the line also does not change. This gives you one more property which is called rectilinear propagation of light. So in homogeneous open optical medium, light propagates up to infinite distance along the same line of action in straight, that is in straight line, in given direction without change in its direction. ये उसकी one more property है. And using this rectilinear propagation property, we can explain different phenomena. इधर क्या है, ऑब्स्टैकल है ही नहीं, मीडियम भी होमोजीनियस है. ऑप्टिकल डेंसिटी ऑफ द गिवन मीडियम थ्रू आउट does not change, is not changing. Such medium is called homogeneous or isotropic. तो ये क्या होता है, लाइट है, हम लोग बोलते हैं आइसोट्रोपिक में जा रहा है. इट विल मेंटेन द डायरेक्शन सेम while covering infinite distance in the given homogeneous medium. If suppose the medium is bounded, means you are making it non homogeneous. बाउंड करना है तो बाउंड्रीज आ जाएंगे. अभी बाउंड्रीज आएंगे तो क्या होगा, उसके राइट साइड, अप डाउन लेफ्ट साइड, सब जगह अदर देन दिस मीडियम वन रहेगा. दिस इज मीडियम वन. व्हेन आई मेक it closed using boundaries, these boundaries will be from some other media. Some other media suppose is opaque one, like this. Opaque media क्या करते हैं हम लोग, with the set of slanted lines represent करते हैं. This medium is not allowing the light to propagate through it. So what will happen? It will become obstacle, rigid, opaque obstacle along the path of ray of light, and the ray will then not get through the boundary and cannot enter in the other side, in the other medium, and hence we will get different phenomenon. If the boundary is from rarer, denser medium, the ray gets rebound back in the same medium. If the boundary is from rarer medium, means here air है और here मैंने एक बीकर रखा है, water भरा हुआ. Water is a transparent medium, so ray from air can cross this boundary and enter the water medium, so it changes the medium. So here, if the change in medium, you call the phenomenon to be refraction. If the boundary is from opaque medium, then the phenomenon executed by the light at the boundary we call as reflection. So, during its propagation, if the medium is not homogeneous, it executes different phenomenon like refraction, reflection, dispersion. Somebody was telling me the light gets sprayed तो स्प्रेडिंग नहीं, अब हम लोग अभी क्या कर रहे हैं, सिंगल फ्रीक्वेंसी एज्यूम की है एंड बीम नहीं ले रहे हैं, हम लोग रे ले रहे हैं। द बीम इज नॉट वी आर टेकिंग इनटू कंसिडरेशन विच विल गेट स्प्रेड। रे है, रे के हिसाब से बातें करेंगे। सो डिफ्रैक्शन, इंटरफियरेंस, ऐसे बहुत सारे फिनोमिनॉन दिस लाइट एग्जीक्यूट करता है व्हेन ट्रेवल्स थ्रू नॉन होमोजीनियस मीडियम। अगर होमोजीनियस मीडियम है तो इट गेट्स रेक्टिलिनियर प्रोपगेशन, नॉन होमोजीनियस है तो फ्रॉम द बाउंड्री सेपरेटिंग द टू मीडिया you the light executes different phenomenon. All these phenomenon can be categorized and can be explained with the properties of light. There are few phenomenon like refraction, reflection, which can be explained on the basis of rectilinear propagation property of light. एंड दिस फिनोमिनॉन वी स्टडी इन रे ऑप्टिक्स। अभी ऑप्टिक्स के अलग अलग ब्रांचेस है, मैं उसका जिक्र कर रही हूँ विच इज मेंशन इन द टेक्स्ट बुक। टेक्स्ट बुक देखो, टेक्स्ट बुक में कॉमनली ऑब्जर्व फिनोमिनॉन, उसका पहला मैं टाइप ले रही हूँ, रे ऑप्टिक्स और जियोमेट्रिक ऑप्टिक्स। सो रे ऑप्टिक्स में हम लोग क्या एज्यूम करते हैं, लाइट इज traveling in the form of ray and in homogeneous medium it travels along same line in same direction, rectilinear propagation। और उसके हिसाब से few phenomena we can explain and that phenomenon, that property of light is studied in branch ray optics। It executes few more phenomena like interference, diffraction, in which to explain this phenomenon we have to assume the light propagating in the form of wave. That is called wave optics. You all know, right now we have considered or we know light has dual nature। dual nature हम लोग एज्यूम करते हैं, समटाइम्स इट बिहेव्स एज पार्टिकल, समटाइम्स इट इज बिहेविंग एज वेव। सो सर्टन फिनोमिना we can explain assuming light propagating in the form of wave, that is called wave optics। and there are some phenomenon from modern physics, photoelectric effect। when light is incident you get electric current in the circuit। फोटो इलेक्ट्रिक, सोलर है ना, जब भी लाइट होता है तभी सोलर इलेक्ट्रिसिटी मिलती है, वो भी वन ऑफ द फिनोमिनॉन। दैट टाइम व्हाट वी हैव टू एज्यूम द पार्टिकल नेचर ऑफ लाइट। so different phenomenon are studied under different categories assuming different nature of light। in 11th we have to focus on ray optics। 11 में हम लोगों को क्या करना है, रेक्टिलिनियर प्रोपगेशन, ये प्रॉपर्टी के हिसाब से जो फिनोमिनॉन हम लोग एक्सप्लेन कर सके वो फिनोमिनॉन वी हैव टू स्टडी। So in 11 we will study in detail the ray optics, we will focus on ray optics। in next year we have to study or you will study wave optics and particle nature of light। so depending on this we have to start actual syllabus from next lecture while डीलिंग विथ रे ऑप्टिक्स। अभी रे ऑप्टिक्स में क्या होएगा वो तो बताओ बच्चों। वी आर टॉकिंग ओनली अबाउट स्टिल रे, आई एम नॉट टॉकिंग अबाउट द बीम। तो रे में क्या होता है, इट हैज वन पर्टिकुलर फ्रीक्वेंसी। बीम होती है ना तो उसमें क्या होता है, नंबर ऑफ रेज ऑफ डिफरेंट frequencies like a single ray of white light। in that single ray We have a single ray of white light. We have a rays of different frequencies. So such beam is called polychromatic, while a single ray is called monochromatic, having only one frequency or one wavelength. फॉर एग्जाम्पल एनी लेजर बीम, जो लेजर रहता है ना, वो खाली उसमें एक फ्रीक्वेंसी रहती है. सो वाइल डीलिंग विथ रे ऑप्टिक्स, initially we assume our ray to be monochromatic in the form of single ray, not in the form of beam, and following rectilinear propagation property. So from tomorrow, from next lecture, we will start with the actual syllabus, the notes of today's lecture and assignment on it I will post on the group. Everyone has to write that notes in the notebook and to have to solve assignment based on the same content. Always complete your homework on the same day and keep your notebooks ready with every day update itself. So the time is up. You have to join the next meet. So I am winding the meet for all. Solve the assignment, write the notes posted by me today in your notebook. So I am winding the meet for all.